Life has a way of overloading our minds. Thoughts keep racing, worries pile up, and we often find ourselves stuck in a loop, analyzing every detail of yesterday and every what if of tomorrow. Overthinking is exhausting, not just mentally, but physically and emotionally too. Yet there's hope. Peace of mind isn't a distant dream. It's something we can cultivate with simple daily habits. Imagine your mind like a garden. If you let weeds of constant worry grow unchecked, they take over. But if you nurture calmness, positivity, and clarity, your mind blossoms. One habit at a time can make a tremendous difference. Start with a few minutes of stillness each day. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and allow your mind to settle. This small pause helps you detach from relentless thoughts. Journaling is another habit that can free your mind. Writing down worries transforms them from stormy clouds in your mind to manageable notes on paper. Be mindful of what you consume. Your mind feeds on information just as your body feeds on food. Choose uplifting books, positive conversations, and inspiring stories. Avoid dwelling on negativity or over-consuming social media, as these can fuel unnecessary overthinking. Exercise and movement are not just for the body, they are therapy for the mind. A brisk walk, yoga, or stretching helps release tension and lets your thoughts flow more gently instead of spiraling uncontrollably. Sleep is sacred. A tired mind magnifies worries, while a well-rested mind approaches challenges with clarity and calmness. Similarly, practicing gratitude daily shifts focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, soothing the restless mind. Another powerful habit is simplifying decisions. Too many choices overwhelm the mind. Decide consciously what matters most and let go of the trivial. Also, connect with nature. Watching a sunrise, listening to birds, or feeling the breeze has a miraculous way of calming our inner chatter. Remember, overthinking is often fueled by fear of the unknown. Embrace uncertainty as part of life. Accept that not every answer or solution comes immediately, and trust that clarity arrives in its own time. Lastly, be gentle with yourself. Self-compassion is a balm for the anxious mind. Treat yourself with the same patience you offer a friend. Peace is a habit, a daily practice, not a distant destination. With small, consistent steps, the mind can be still, thoughts can flow calmly, and life can be lived with presence and joy. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often forget one of the simplest yet most profound tools to calm the mind: pausing and breathing. It sounds so basic that it can almost feel trivial, but the truth is the bridge between our body and mind. When thoughts are racing, when worries start piling up, when we feel anxious about what has happened or what might happen, simply taking a moment to pause and breathe can be transformative. Imagine your mind is a stormy river. Thoughts, fears, and worries swirl like fast-moving currents pulling you in every direction. You feel trapped, unable to focus, unable to find clarity. Pausing and consciously focusing on your breath is like stepping onto the riverbank, feeling solid ground beneath your feet. You are no longer swept away. Just a few intentional breaths can create a space of calm, a pause in the chaos, and allow your mind to regain balance. The beauty of this habit is that it doesn't require anything external, no equipment, no special setting, no approval from anyone else. You can practice it sitting at your desk, standing in line, or even lying in bed before sleep. The key is mindfulness, paying attention to the inhale and the exhale, feeling the air filling your lungs and then leaving your body. In those moments, your mind is invited to let go of its constant chatter. You are telling your brain, it's okay, I am present, I am here. Scientific research supports what has been known for centuries in meditation practices. Deep, mindful breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which slows the heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and reduces stress hormones. Essentially, it is a natural reset button for your body and mind. Overthinking often triggers a fight or flight response, keeping you on edge, tense, and restless. By pausing and breathing, you send a signal to your body that it's safe to relax, that there is no immediate danger, and that it is time to come back to the present moment. Developing this habit also helps with awareness. When you pause and breathe, you create a small but significant distance between yourself and your thoughts. Instead of being consumed by them, you observe them. You notice the patterns, the repetitive worries, the exaggerated what-ifs, and that awareness alone can diminish their power. Over time, your mind becomes more disciplined. It learns that thoughts are not commands, that worrying endlessly is not the only option, and that clarity can emerge from stillness. You can begin with a simple practice of 3 to 5 minutes each day. Sit comfortably, close your eyes if possible, and focus entirely on your breath. Inhale deeply, feeling the air fill your lungs, hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly. If your mind wanders, which it inevitably will, gently bring it back to your breath without judgment. Over days and weeks, you will notice subtle shifts. Moments of overthinking that once felt overwhelming will feel lighter, calmer, and more manageable. Pausing and breathing is more than a habit. It is a gift to yourself. It is a daily reminder that you are in charge of your mind, that no thought is too powerful to disrupt your peace, and that tranquility is all available within you. In a world that constantly demands speed and attention, taking the time to pause and breathe is an act of courage, of self-respect, and of love toward your own mental well-being. Journaling your thoughts is one of the most underrated yet powerful habits for calming the mind and stopping overthinking. So often, our minds feel like cluttered rooms, overflowing with ideas, worries, regrets, and plans, all competing for attention at once. When everything is trapped inside, it can feel overwhelming, as if the weight of unspoken thoughts is pressing down on you. Writing them down is like opening a window in that crowded room. It lets the air in, clears the clutter, and brings a sense of relief and clarity. The process is simple, yet its impact is profound. When you take a pen and a notebook, or even type on your phone, you're giving your thoughts a tangible space outside your mind. Instead of endlessly turning worries over in your head, you are externalizing them, observing them as something separate from yourself. This act alone creates a distance between you and the incessant chatter of your mind, allowing you to see patterns, triggers, and recurring fears that you may not have noticed before. Overthinking often feeds on repetition, the same thoughts running in circles, gaining strength each time they are repeated internally. Journaling interrupts this cycle. Once a worry is on paper, it loses some of its intensity. Journaling also helps you organize your thoughts. When you write freely, your mind often moves from chaotic snippets to more structured ideas. You begin to notice what truly matters and what is trivial. Many times we overthink because we exaggerate problems or give energy to situations that are outside our control. Writing them down helps reveal reality versus perception. You might write down a fear, read it again, and realize that it isn't as urgent or overwhelming as it initially seemed. This process encourages perspective, which is a powerful antidote to overthinking. Another benefit of journaling is emotional release. Thoughts are not just intellectual. They carry emotion, fear, guilt, anxiety, or sadness. Holding all this inside can be exhausting, even physically draining. Writing is a safe space to vent without judgment. You can express anger, disappointment, or worry freely, knowing that no one is watching, no one is criticizing. So it is a form of self-therapy that allows the body and mind to release tension naturally. Journaling also cultivates mindfulness. When you slow down to write, you bring your attention fully to the present moment. Instead of being consumed by past mistakes or future uncertainties, your focus is on the act of writing. Over time, it can also reveal insights about yourself, patterns in your thinking, recurring challenges, or even solutions you might have overlooked. There is no strict rule for journaling. Some people prefer writing every morning to set a calm tone for the day. Others write before bed to release the mental clutter accumulated throughout the day. Some write long, reflective paragraphs, while others jot down bullet points or even short lists of worries. The key is consistency and honesty. Treat it as a private conversation with yourself, a daily ritual where your mind can speak freely without interruption. Ultimately, journaling is more than a habit. It is a lifeline for clarity and peace. It transforms overthinking from a relentless storm into a manageable flow of thoughts, helping you regain control of your mind. With each entry, you are not just recording your thoughts. You are learning to understand them, release them, and ultimately quiet them. Over time, this habit creates a calmer, clearer, and more relaxed mind, one that is capable of responding to life thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively to every passing thought. The things we consume every day, books, conversations, videos, news, and social media, have a profound impact on the state of our minds. Just as nourishing food strengthens the body, The content we feed our minds shapes our thoughts, emotions, and overall mental well-being. If we constantly consume negativity, fear, or gossip, our minds become cluttered, anxious, and prone to overthinking. On the other hand, intentionally consuming positivity can calm the mind, foster clarity, and help us navigate life with peace and confidence. Consuming positivity begins with being mindful of what you allow into your mental space. In today's world, information is everywhere, and much of it can trigger unnecessary worry. Constant exposure to negative news, social media comparisons, or toxic conversations can create a fertile ground for overthinking. Your mind begins to replay stories of fear, failure, and conflict, even when they have little relevance to your life. By consciously choosing uplifting and inspiring content, you can shift the tone of your thoughts from anxious and scattered to calm and focused. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means being selective about what you repeatedly expose your mind to and prioritizing content that nurtures hope, growth, and wisdom. Books, podcasts, and videos that inspire and educate can act as mental nourishment. Reading stories of resilience, listening to lessons from people who have overcome challenges, or engaging with motivational ideas can instill a sense of possibility. This helps redirect your thoughts from spiraling over fears to contemplating solutions and opportunities. Even small doses of positivity daily, like a short motivational video or a few pages of an inspiring book, can gradually transform your mindset. Over time, your mind begins to expect hope rather than panic, possibility rather than limitation, and calm rather than chaos. Conversations are another critical area to manage. The people you spend time with influence your thought patterns more than you might realize. Engaging in meaningful, positive dialogue encourages optimism and clarity. Limiting negativity involves choosing supportive, encouraging, and solution-oriented companionship. It doesn't mean avoiding reality or conflict, but rather prioritizing relationships that build you up rather than pull you down mentally and emotionally. Self-talk is an area that often goes unnoticed, but greatly impacts mental peace. Our inner dialogue can be harsh, judgmental, and self-sabotaging, feeding overthinking with exaggerated fears and doubts. Limiting negativity requires awareness of these thoughts and actively challenging them. When a negative thought arises, acknowledge it, but then counter it with a more balanced or constructive perspective. Over time, this practice reduces the mind's tendency to spiral into overthinking. Creating a positive environment also helps. Simple changes, like keeping your space organized, surrounding yourself with inspiring quotes or images, or spending time in nature, can subtly reduce exposure to negativity and reinforce calmness. Even small actions, such as listening to uplifting music or engaging in hobbies that bring joy, can shift the mind away from constant worry. Ultimately, limiting negativity is a daily practice and a conscious choice. It empowers you to protect your mind from unnecessary stress, reduce overthinking, and cultivate a more peaceful inner life. By carefully managing what you consume, who you spend time with, and how you respond to your own thoughts, you can create an environment, both external and internal, that encourages clarity, calm, and resilience. In a world filled with distractions, fears, and challenges, limiting negativity becomes not just a habit but a lifeline for mental well-being. Movement is one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked tools for calming the mind and reducing overthinking. When thoughts are racing and worries begin to dominate, the body tends to hold tension in response. Tight shoulders, a stiff neck, shallow breathing, and a restless energy that seems impossible to release. Physical movement is not just about fitness or appearance. It is a direct pathway to mental clarity, emotional balance, and relaxation. Every time you move, your mind experiences a subtle but profound reset. Exercise has a remarkable effect on the nervous system. Overthinking often triggers the body's stress response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline, which keep us in a heightened state of alertness. This makes it difficult to think clearly or relax, creating a cycle where stress feeds overthinking and overthinking increases stress. Movement, whether it is walking, stretching, yoga, or any form of exercise, helps release these stress hormones and activates endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. The result is an immediate sense of relief, a lightness in the body, and a calmer, more focused mind. Even gentle movement can be transformative. A simple 20-minute walk outdoors can shift your thoughts dramatically. When walking, running, or stretching, your focus naturally moves from the endless loop of worry to the rhythm of your body, the sensation of your feet on the ground, or the beauty of your surroundings. This moment of mindful presence interrupts overthinking and brings your awareness back to the here and now. Over time, consistent movement trains the mind to respond to stress with action rather than rumination. Movement also helps to process emotions. Thoughts are often intertwined with feelings of anxiety, fear, or frustration. Sitting with these emotions can intensify overthinking, but moving allows the body to release stored tension, providing an outlet for these emotions. For instance, hitting a punching bag, cycling, or even dancing to music can release the energy that fuels repetitive thoughts. The physical activity acts as a release valve, letting the mind breathe and reset. Another subtle benefit of movement is that it encourages routine and discipline. Incorporating daily movement into your life signals to your mind that self-care is a priority. This consistent attention to your well-being creates a foundation of stability and confidence, which naturally reduces the need to obsess over uncertainties or hypothetical scenarios. Your mind feels anchored, knowing that even in the chaos of life, you have daily practices that restore balance. Movement also promotes better sleep, which is crucial for reducing overthinking. A tired, restless mind struggles to settle at night, replaying worries and hypothetical situations endlessly. Physical activity during the day helps regulate the sleep cycle, relaxes the nervous system, and prepares the mind for restful sleep, onto restful sleep. In this way, exercise indirectly supports mental calmness by creating the conditions for proper rest, which is essential for clarity and focus. Importantly, movement does not have to be strenuous or structured to be effective. Even small intentional actions like stretching when you wake up, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or standing and walking during breaks can have a meaningful impact on your mental state. The key is consistency and mindful engagement. Paying attention to your body, noticing the sensations, and using movement as a tool to reconnect with yourself. Ultimately, moving your body is a natural and powerful antidote to overthinking. It transforms stagnant energy into flow, tension into release, and mental chaos into clarity. By incorporating movement into daily life, you not only strengthen your body but also cultivate a calmer, more balanced mind. In essence, every step, stretch, or breath taken in motion is a step toward freedom from the endless loops of overthinking, creating space for presence, peace, and joy in everyday life. Sleep is often underestimated, but it is one of the most essential habits for calming the mind and preventing overthinking. In our fast-paced world, we tend to sacrifice rest for productivity, entertainment, or endless scrolling on our devices, believing that waking hours are the only time that matters. Yet, sleep is not a luxury. It is a fundamental pillar of mental clarity, emotional balance, and overall well-being. Without adequate rest, the mind becomes overactive, the heart feels heavy, and the tendency to overthink intensifies. When we are sleep deprived, the brain struggles to process emotions and manage stress. Thoughts that might be manageable during the day begin to spiral at night, creating loops of worry and anxiety. Small problems appear larger, past mistakes feel heavier, and future uncertainties loom larger than they truly are. Prioritizing sleep, on the other hand, restores balance. A well-rested mind can observe thoughts without becoming consumed by them, approach challenges with clarity, and respond to life's pressures calmly rather than reactively. Sleep also strengthens the brain's ability to regulate emotion. During deep sleep, the brain processes experiences from the day, consolidates memories, and clears out mental clutter. This natural process allows the mind to release unnecessary tension and approach the next day with a fresh perspective. Overthinking often occurs when unresolved thoughts linger in our subconscious. Adequate sleep gives the brain a chance to work through these thoughts subconsciously, reducing the mental load when we are awake. In other words, sleep acts as a nightly mental reset button, allowing the mind to declutter and recharge. Creating a sleep-friendly routine is crucial for reducing overthinking. Simple habits like going to bed at the same time each night, avoiding screens before sleep, and keeping the bedroom dark and quiet can make a significant difference. Incorporating a wind-down routine, such as reading, meditating, or gentle stretching, signals to the body and mind that it is time to relax. These rituals help shift the nervous system from a state of alertness to one of calm readiness for restorative sleep. Mindful attention to sleep also includes managing the mental environment before bedtime. Many people lie in bed replaying the day's events or imagining hypothetical scenarios for tomorrow. This habit fuels overthinking and prevents rest. Instead, creating a brief journaling or gratitude practice before bed can release worries and focus attention on what is positive and manageable. Writing down unresolved thoughts allows the mind to offload them, while reflecting on gratitude encourages a sense of calm and contentment before sleep. Furthermore, prioritizing sleep has a compounding effect on overall well-being. A well-rested mind is more capable of handling stress, making clear decisions, and maintaining emotional equilibrium throughout the day. It reduces impulsivity, sharpens focus, and even enhances creativity. By treating sleep as sacred and non-negotiable, we protect our mental clarity, limit the tendency to overthink, and create a foundation for daily peace and productivity. Ultimately, sleep is not just a pause from life. It is a powerful tool for mental restoration. When we prioritize rest, we give our minds the space to process, release, and reset. Overthinking diminishes because the brain has had its chance to recharge. Emotions are more balanced, and thoughts can flow naturally without spiraling out of control. In this way, sleep is both a refuge and a resource, a daily gift that nurtures clarity, calm, and resilience, allowing us to face each day with a peaceful mind and a refreshed spirit. Sleep is often underestimated, but it is one of the most essential habits for calming the mind and preventing overthinking. In our fast-paced world, we tend to sacrifice rest for productivity, entertainment, or endless scrolling on our devices, believing that waking hours are the only time that matters. Yet, sleep is not a luxury. It is a fundamental pillar of mental clarity, emotional balance, and overall well-being. Without adequate rest, the mind becomes overactive, the heart feels heavy, and the tendency to overthink intensifies. When we are sleep deprived, the brain struggles to process emotions and manage stress. Thoughts that might be manageable during the day begin to spiral at night, creating loops of worry and anxiety. Small problems appear larger, past mistakes feel heavier, and future uncertainties loom larger than they truly are. Prioritizing sleep, on the other hand, restores balance. A well-rested mind can observe thoughts without becoming consumed by them, approach challenges with clarity, and respond to life's pressures calmly rather than reactively. Sleep also strengthens the brain's ability to regulate emotions. During deep sleep, the brain processes experiences from the day, consolidates memories, and clears out mental clutter. This natural process allows the mind to release unnecessary tension and approach the next day with a fresh perspective. Overthinking often occurs when unresolved thoughts linger in our subconscious. Adequate sleep gives the brain a chance to work through these thoughts subconsciously, reducing the mental load when we are awake. In other words, sleep acts as a nightly mental reset button, allowing the mind to declutter and recharge. Creating a sleep-friendly routine is crucial for reducing overthinking. Simple habits like going to bed at the same time each night, avoiding screens before sleep, and keeping the bedroom dark and quiet can make a significant difference. Incorporating a wind-down routine such as reading, meditating, or gentle stretching signals to the body and mind that it is time to relax. These rituals help shift the nervous system from a state of alertness to one of calm readiness for restorative sleep. Mindful attention to sleep also includes managing the mental environment before bedtime. Many people lie in bed replaying the day's events or imagining hypothetical scenarios for tomorrow. This habit fuels overthinking and prevents rest. Instead, creating a brief journaling or gratitude practice before bed can release worries and focus attention on what is positive and manageable. Writing down unresolved thoughts allows the mind to offload them, while reflecting on gratitude encourages a sense of calm and contentment before sleep. Furthermore, prioritizing sleep has a compounding effect on overall well-being. A well-rested mind is more capable of handling stress, making clear decisions, and maintaining emotional equilibrium throughout the day. It reduces impulsivity, sharpens focus, and even enhances creativity. By treating sleep as sacred and non-negotiable, we protect our mental clarity, limit the tendency to overthink, and create a foundation for daily peace and productivity. Ultimately, sleep is not just a pause from life, it is a powerful tool for mental restoration. When we prioritize rest, we give our minds the space to process, release, and reset. Overthinking diminishes because the brain has had its chance to recharge, emotions are more balanced, and thoughts can flow naturally without spiraling out of control. In this way, sleep is both a refuge and a resource, a daily gift that nurtures clarity, calm, and resilience, allowing us to face each day with a peaceful mind and a refreshed spirit. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most transformative habits for calming the mind and stopping overthinking. When we are caught in the cycle of constant worry, our focus tends to drift toward what is missing, what went wrong, or what could go wrong in the future. This mindset feeds overthinking, creating mental loops of stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Practicing gratitude, however, shifts the focus from scarcity to abundance, from fear to appreciation, and from mental chaos to clarity. It is a habit that not only changes our thoughts, but also transforms the way we perceive life itself. At its core, gratitude is about consciously recognizing the positive aspects of life, no matter how small. It can be as simple as appreciating a warm cup of tea in the morning, the comfort of your bed, a smile from a stranger, or the support of a friend. When we make the effort to acknowledge these moments, we begin to rewire our minds to notice blessings instead of problems. This does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it is about balancing our awareness so that the mind does not get trapped in endless loops of worry and negativity. Practicing gratitude helps interrupt overthinking by redirecting attention. Overthinking often occurs when the mind dwells on what might go wrong or replays past mistakes. Gratitude brings the mind back to the present moment, highlighting what is already good and stable. Unstable. By focusing on positive aspects, no matter how small, we create a mental anchor, a point of calm that can counteract the turbulent waves of excessive thinking. Over time, this shift in focus reduces anxiety, improves emotional resilience, and strengthens our ability to respond thoughtfully to challenges. The habit of gratitude can be practiced in many ways. Some people keep a daily gratitude journal, writing down 3 to 5 things they are thankful for each day. Others take a moment each morning or before bed to silently reflect on the positive aspects of life. Even verbalizing gratitude to others, thanking a colleague, a friend, or a family member reinforces the practice and creates a positive ripple effect in relationships. The key is consistency. Gratitude, like any habit, gains power through repetition. Each small acknowledgement of appreciation reinforces the mind's capacity to focus on what is constructive rather than what is stressful. Gratitude also fosters perspective. When we consciously appreciate what we have, we realize that our worries are often smaller than they feel. Problems shrink in proportion to the larger context of life's blessings, and the mind naturally relaxes. This sense of perspective is essential for stopping overthinking, because many anxious thoughts are fueled by exaggeration, fear, or a narrow focus on negatives. Gratitude widens the lens, allowing us to see challenges as temporary and manageable rather than overwhelming. Furthermore, gratitude impacts the body as well as the mind. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can reduce stress hormones, lower blood pressure, and improve sleep quality. When the body and mind are calmer, the tendency to overthink diminishes naturally. In this way, gratitude creates a positive feedback loop. Acknowledging what is good promotes calm, calm reduces overthinking, and less overthinking allows for more awareness of life's blessings. Ultimately, practicing gratitude is more than a habit, it is a mindset. It is a conscious decision to notice and appreciate the positives in life, even amidst challenges. By regularly cultivating gratitude, we train our minds to focus on abundance rather than lack, presence rather than worry, and contentment rather than fear. In doing so, we create a mental environment where overthinking loses its power and peace, clarity, and joy can flourish naturally and consistently. Life is filled with choices, big and small, and while decision-making is a natural part of living, overthinking often arises when we allow ourselves to become overwhelmed by too many options. Each choice, whether significant or trivial, can trigger a mental debate that spirals into anxiety, worry, and self-doubt. Simplifying decisions is a powerful habit for calming the mind because it reduces mental clutter, conserves energy, and helps focus attention on what truly matters. The first step in simplifying decisions is recognizing that not every choice carries the same weight. Many of the decisions we agonize over daily, what to wear, what to eat, which route to take, are minor in the grand scheme of life. Overthinking these trivial choices drains mental energy and leaves the mind more susceptible to stress when facing genuinely important decisions. By identifying which decisions are essential and which are not, we can allocate our mental resources more wisely, making fewer opportunities for anxiety to grow. Another key aspect is creating routines and structures that reduce unnecessary choices. For example, having a set morning routine, planning meals in advance, or setting aside specific times for tasks can dramatically reduce the number of decisions the mind has to process each day. When many small decisions are handled automatically through habit, the mind is freed from constant deliberation and can focus on priorities that truly impact your life. In this way, routines act as a mental filter, eliminating unnecessary noise and fostering clarity. Simplifying decisions also involves trusting yourself. Often, overthinking occurs because we doubt our judgment, worry about making mistakes, or fear the opinions of others. By cultivating confidence in your ability to choose and accepting that mistakes are a natural part of growth, you reduce the pressure that fuels overthinking. Not every decision has to be perfect, and learning to let go of perfectionism is crucial. It's crucial. When the fear of error diminishes, decision-making becomes less intimidating, and the mind experiences a sense of relief. Another practical method is limiting options. When faced with multiple choices, narrowing them down to 2 or 3 viable options can prevent mental overload. Studies have shown that too many options can lead to decision fatigue, making the mind feel paralyzed and increasing anxiety. By consciously reducing choices, we simplify the process, enhance clarity, and make decisions more quickly and confidently. Simplifying decisions also encourages prioritization. Life is full of demands, but not all of them deserve equal attention. Learning to distinguish between what is urgent, important, and trivial allows the mind to focus on meaningful tasks without being bogged down by inconsequential worries. This prioritization not only reduces overthinking, but also enhances productivity and satisfaction because energy is directed toward what truly matters rather than scattered across a dozen small concerns. Importantly, simplifying decisions is not about avoiding responsibility or ignoring the future. It is about creating mental space and reducing unnecessary stress so that thoughtful, intentional choices can be made without anxiety. When the mind is less cluttered, it becomes easier to see options clearly, weigh consequences effectively, and act decisively. The result is a sense of calm control and balance in daily life. Ultimately, simplifying decisions is a habit that frees the mind from endless loops of doubt and worry. By focusing on what truly matters, trusting your judgment, limiting options, and creating effective routines, you reduce mental overload and cultivate clarity. Each simplified decision is a step toward a calmer, more relaxed mind, one that can navigate life with presence, confidence, and ease rather than being trapped in cycles of overthinking. In the midst of our fast-paced, technology-driven lives, it is easy to forget the profound impact that nature can have on our minds. Overthinking often flourishes in environments that are cluttered, noisy, or artificial, where the mind has little opportunity to rest. It is the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. By nurturing yourself instead of criticizing, the mind finds space to relax and overthinking gradually loses its grip. Self-compassion begins with awareness. The first step is noticing when your mind is being self-critical or caught in loops of worry. These thoughts are often automatic and unconscious, yet they have a powerful impact on your emotional state. By simply recognizing them without judgment, you create a pause, a moment of separation between your awareness and the thought itself. This pause allows you to respond with kindness rather than feeding the cycle of overthinking. For example, if you make a mistake at work and your mind begins replaying it endlessly, acknowledging, I'm human and it's okay to make mistakes, can prevent spiraling thoughts and release unnecessary mental tension. Another crucial aspect of self-compassion is reframing expectations. Overthinking often stems from unrealistic standards and a fear of failure. We expect ourselves to anticipate every outcome, prevent every mistake, and control every variable in life. Practicing self-compassion means accepting that perfection is impossible and that learning comes from mistakes and experiences. When we approach life with this mindset, the mind no longer needs to endlessly analyze and predict every scenario. Instead, it can focus on growth, solutions, and present opportunities without being paralyzed by fear or doubt. Self-compassion also involves giving yourself permission to rest and recharge. Overthinking is often fueled by fatigue, stress, and a relentless push to keep performing. Treating yourself with compassion means recognizing when you need a break, allowing moments of relaxation without guilt, and understanding that rest is a vital part of well-being. By honoring your own needs, you create mental and emotional space for calm and clarity rather than overloading the mind with pressure and expectations. Furthermore, self-compassion encourages positive self-talk. The way we speak to ourselves internally shapes the way we think and feel. Instead of criticizing yourself for overthinking, you might say, "It's okay to feel this way. I am learning to calm my mind." Gentle, encouraging language reduces the intensity of anxious thoughts and supports a healthier mental environment. Over time, this practice rewires the brain to respond to stress with care and understanding rather than fear and self-judgment. Self-compassion also promotes resilience. Life inevitably brings challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties. When we respond to these difficulties with kindness rather than harsh criticism, we are better equipped to navigate them with balance and wisdom. The mind becomes less reactive and more reflective, reducing the tendency to dwell on negative possibilities or replay past mistakes, core aspects of overthinking. Ultimately, practicing self-compassion is about building a nurturing relationship with yourself. It is the practice of patience, understanding, and acceptance, recognizing that you are worthy of care regardless of your mistakes or imperfections. By treating yourself with kindness, you cultivate a mind that is calm, clear, and resilient. Overthinking diminishes naturally because the mind no longer feels under attack from its own inner critic. Instead, it experiences freedom, peace, and the gentle guidance needed to navigate life with balance, presence, and confidence. Focusing on the present moment is one of the most powerful habits for calming the mind and overcoming overthinking. Overthinking thrives on two things: dwelling on the past and worrying about the future. The mind becomes a relentless storyteller, replaying mistakes, imagining what-ifs, or predicting outcomes that may never happen. This constant mental activity drains energy, increases anxiety, and prevents clarity. By intentionally shifting attention to the present, we create space for calmness, clarity, and grounded decision-making, allowing life to be experienced fully rather than through the lens of fear or regret. Being present is not merely a passive observation of the world around us. It is an active engagement with what is happening right now. When we focus on the present moment, we notice sensations, thoughts, and emotions as they arise, without judgment or the need to control them. For example, paying attention to the rhythm of your breath, the feeling of your feet on the ground, or the sounds of your surroundings can anchor the mind in the here and now. Overthinking diminishes because the mind no longer spirals into the abstract realms of past mistakes or hypothetical futures. It is fully engaged with what is tangible and real. Practicing presence also allows for clearer thinking. When the mind is distracted by endless thoughts of what could go wrong or what I should have done, it loses the ability to respond effectively to the current moment. By returning attention to the present, we allow ourselves to assess situations more objectively, make conscious decisions, and act with intention rather than react impulsively. This clarity is essential for reducing the anxiety that fuels overthinking. There are simple, practical ways to cultivate presence. Mindfulness meditation is a well-known method where one observes the breath, bodily sensations, or mental activity without judgment. Another technique is to engage fully in daily activities such as washing dishes, walking, or eating by noticing every detail: the textures, smells, movements, and sensations. Even brief moments of conscious attention can help anchor the mind and interrupt patterns of overthinking. Being present also helps in managing emotions. Overthinking often intensifies emotions by magnifying problems or imagining catastrophic outcomes. When attention is focused on the present, emotions are experienced without distortion. We observe them, understand them, and respond to them in a balanced way. This emotional regulation reduces the mental clutter, feeds worry, anxiety, and excessive analysis. Connecting with the present moment also enhances appreciation for life. Overthinking keeps the mind stuck in what was or what might be, often overlooking the beauty and opportunities in the current moment. By being fully present, we notice small joys, a smile from a loved one, the warmth of sunlight, the taste of a favorite meal. This awareness cultivates gratitude and peace, further reducing the mental space available for unnecessary worries. Ultimately, focusing on the present moment is a deliberate habit of reclaiming the mind from constant overthinking. It is a practice of awareness, engagement, and acceptance that frees the mind from past regrets and future anxieties. By living in the here and now, we experience life fully, respond to challenges with clarity, and cultivate a deep sense of calm and balance. Overthinking fades because the mind is no longer trapped in endless loops. It is alive, attentive, and grounded in the one moment that truly exists. The present, or learning to let go of things you cannot control, is a powerful habit for calming the mind and reducing overthinking. Much of our mental stress and anxiety arises from trying to predict, influence, or fix situations that are beyond our control. Overthinking thrives in the space of uncertainty, replaying endless what if, and imagining worst-case scenarios. By consciously releasing the need to control the uncontrollable, we free our mind from unnecessary tension, create space for peace, and redirect our energy toward what we can influence. The first step in letting go is awareness. It requires acknowledging that some situations are inherently uncertain or outside your influence. For example, you cannot control how others think, react, or behave. You cannot undo the past, and you cannot predict the future with certainty. Accepting these realities does not mean giving up or being passive. It means recognizing where your energy is best spent. Once we identify what is truly within our control, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, we can focus on those areas, leaving the rest to unfold naturally. Overthinking often stems from an illusion of control. We imagine that by analyzing every detail, making the perfect plan, or predicting every outcome, we can prevent failure or disappointment. But life is not entirely predictable. The more we cling to control, the more frustrated, anxious, and mentally exhausted we become. Letting go allows the mind to rest, understanding that uncertainty is a natural part of life, and that peace does not require total control. One practical way to practice letting go is through reframing. Instead of dwelling on what could go wrong, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, consciously shift your focus to actions you can take or perspectives you can adopt. Journaling can help here. Writing down concerns and then categorizing them as controllable or uncontrollable can provide clarity and prevent mental loops from spiraling. This simple practice reinforces the habit of focusing energy where it is most effective, reducing overthinking significantly. Mindfulness and meditation are also effective tools for letting go. By observing thoughts without judgment, we learn that worrying about things beyond our control only creates unnecessary suffering. Instead, we can cultivate acceptance and calm. Meditation teaches the mind that thoughts are temporary and do not always require action. Over time, this practice strengthens the ability to release unhelpful worries and embrace the flow of life without resistance. Letting go does not mean inaction or irresponsibility. It is about differentiating between effort and attachment. You can take meaningful steps toward your goals, make informed decisions, and act with integrity. But you also accept that outcomes are not entirely within your hands. This perspective reduces the mental weight of overthinking, as you no longer feel personally responsible for everything that happens outside your influence. Additionally, letting go cultivates resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise. When we practice releasing control over uncontrollable circumstances, we develop flexibility and adaptability. We respond to life with calmness and wisdom rather than reacting impulsively or obsessively. This mental shift is essential for reducing anxiety, maintaining emotional balance, and living a relaxed, present-focused life. Ultimately, Letting go of things you cannot control is a profound habit for mental peace. It frees the mind from endless loops of worry, shifts focus to actionable areas, and fosters acceptance and clarity. By embracing the reality that uncertainty is part of life, we create a mental environment where overthinking diminishes and calm, thoughtful presence flourishes. In this way, letting go is not a surrender, it is an invitation to live fully, peacefully, and with confidence in the face of life's inevitable uncertainties. Engaging in creative or flow activities is one of the most effective ways to calm the mind and stop overthinking. Overthinking often arises when the mind is idle, replaying past events or projecting worries about the future. When we are absorbed in an activity that fully captures our attention, the mental chatter quiets naturally, allowing focus, clarity, and calm to emerge. Calm to emerge. Flow, the state of being completely immersed in what you are doing, provides a mental refuge where worries dissolve and the mind experiences freedom. Flow activities can take many forms, depending on personal interests and talents. It might be painting, drawing, writing, music, cooking, gardening, coding, or even physical activities like dancing, rock climbing, or sports.